So in this video, I'm going to explain to you why not tracking your body weight correctly could be stopping you from losing fat.
You don't have to keep telling me. One time, that's all you gotta tell me.
After working with hundreds of fat loss clients, something that I've seen that is pretty common with a lot of them when they first come in to work with me is the way they are weighing themselves currently is just not serving them at all. For example, weighing yourself once a week does not give you a good understanding of how much body weight you're actually losing. One day a week, that's 4 times a month, is just not enough. If you think about this like data, weighing yourself gives you data about your body. You can decide to do it 31 times a month, or you can decide to do it 4 times a month. The more data you have, the more you're going to be able to help yourself overcome not losing fat or trying to lose fat. Or another good example is weighing yourself every day, but doing it at different times of the day, or not having a proper set routine of weighing yourself. For example, if you get up in the morning, Monday morning, and you weigh yourself before you've gone to the toilet, all that extra water that you've accumulated while you're sleeping, you know, like when most people have a big pee in the morning, if you're not doing that, maybe you should go see your GP. Or even better, if you can squeeze out a big poo, there could be the guts of a couple of kilo, at least a few pounds, that you're going to drop body weight immediately just by doing that. Or if you get somebody who gets up, oh, forgot to weigh myself, and they do it after the breakfast, well, there's another couple of pounds that's going to be added to the scales. Anything that goes into the stomach is going to add extra body weight. Or for example, weighing yourself on a different surface every other day to see if you're going to get a different result. Just make sure the floor is flat, the tiles aren't cracked, there's no dents in the floor isn't going like this. And don't weigh yourself on carpet. Just don't do it. It's just not going to give you a proper reading of what's actually going on with your body. And I've heard it time and time again. When people do this, it always results in them just giving up. You're just constantly seeing different numbers going up, going down, not changing at all. You just end up giving up.
I retire!
Gym membership, out the window, down the toilet, whatever way you want to explain it. Now, when I was a young whippersnapper, all I ever wanted was a little six-pack. I was a little chubby guy before I had my growth spurt, late bloomer, didn't hit puberty the same time as everybody else. You can imagine what that is like for a 13-year-old boy. And I just wanted to get a six-pack. Didn't really know what to do. I just saw that some of the other people in my class had little six-packs and everybody seemed to fucking love them bastards. But when I would jump on the scales, it was just such an unpleasant experience. Running into my mum and dad's room in the morning, jumping on the scales, or sometimes after school, bollock naked. Obviously my parents weren't in the room, that would be weird. And I'd be looking down the scales, having to look over my little gut so I could see the number. See the scale number before you see your dick, not a good move.
Say hello to my little friend!
And I would do this every day, sometimes multiple times a day, before school, after school, before I went to bed. And because I had no clue what I was doing, I just decided I'm not going to weigh myself. Because a PT that I had ran into, I think it was, actually, you know what, I don't even know if they were a PT. They worked at the local leisure centre. They were probably just old. My age now, 33. Fuck's sake. So I just took their advice because I thought they knew what they were doing, because they weren't fat. If you don't like what you see in the scale, just don't weigh yourself. Just train hard and stop eating as much, which is what I did. I took it to the extreme. I ate very, very little. Anytime I did eat, it was like fish.
8 o'clock in the morning, I'll have fish and a rice cake.
And yeah, hit it hard. Trained every day, twice a day, for the full month of March. March is my birthday. I wanted to have a little six-pack coming into summer. By the end of it, jumping the scales, yep, the scales had gone down. I think it went down by about 5 or 6 kilo. I was like, yes. Looked in the mirror, I had just become skinny fat. Still had that little gut sitting on me, chubby cheeks. Felt like shit. I went from being unhappy to training like a madman, feeling good while I was training, obviously, because I thought I was doing it properly. Obviously I wasn't. Jumping on the scale, seeing the weight going down, and then looking in the mirror and being absolutely devastated. And of course I did what every chubby little 13-year-old does. I just binged on custard creams, jammy dodgers, I stayed at my granny's house a lot, so I was able to enjoy the bakery 3 or 4 times a day if I liked it.
I think together we can solve all our problems.
So, how do you fix this? When you're weighing yourself, you weigh yourself every single day. Every morning when you get up, you go to the toilet, pee. If you can do a poo, excellent. But you want to do it so that you can keep everything the same every single morning that you weigh yourself. Don't eat or drink anything, just jump on the scales and record it. The excuse that I don't have time, this airplane, every day this is going on. The excuse that I don't have time to weigh yourself in the morning, it takes 10 to 20 seconds. Are you serious? That is the lamest excuse I've ever heard. Everything must be the same so that the data, the weight that you're recording every day is as reliable as possible. You do that Monday to Sunday, or if you want to have one day off, it's not that big of a deal, but you must do it 6-7 days a week, and then you want to work off the average. This is why you hear people talking about how you must diet and do everything the same, diet, training, exercise for 30 days, 3 to 4 weeks at least, so that you can get an understanding of what you're doing is working, or if it's not working, this is how we need to make adjustments on the fat loss program that we're on, for example. So what you do is you work off the average. You add up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of the weights that you've taken throughout the week, add them up together, and then you divide it by 7. Then that is the number that you initially start with for tracking how much weight that you are losing on a week-to-week basis. That is how you do it. And I know what you're thinking. Back to the story. Jack, did you ever achieve your little six-pack? Yes, I did. But it wasn't until years later. My mum had got me a couple of personal training sessions with a bodybuilder in the gym that she worked in. Or my mum's a teacher, she didn't work in the gym. In the gym that she trained in. Getting distracted here big time. But it wasn't until I had those sessions with him that I realized that it's also important to not only weigh yourself as a metric of tracking your fat loss progress. Super important to have measurements, measuring your arms, measuring your chest to your back, your midsection, your legs, and also taking photos front, side and back so that you can measure your progress in other areas as well. Measuring things like tracking your strength. Are you getting stronger in the gym? And then also, am I getting fitter? Do I feel like I am able to move better whilst not being out of breath as much? My eyes had been opened. My little brain exploded with the amount of information that this PT, it wasn't a massive amount, but it was just such a game changer in my little fitness journey at the start. I had a little bit of guidance, I had some structure, I knew what I was doing. Now, even though I was looking at myself every day, squeezing, I couldn't see the progress I was making. But when I looked at the measurements, I wasn't massive, but I could see the arms weren't looking as fat. Chest was starting to develop some kind of little definition. There was lines, muscles there that weren't there before. And looking at the photos was where I saw the real progress. I could definitely see that the tape measure was going down around the midsection. And I could see that there was noticeable change from week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 6, where I could start to see a little outline of a 6-pack starting to appear in my stomach. I felt like I was God.
I'm God.
Bingo!
Did I get any extra attention from the ladies? No. I wasn't pretty in the face yet. Yet. To conclude, it is very important when you're in a fat loss phase or journey, if you're going to weigh yourself, you must do it every single day and work off the average. That is a crucial hidden mistake of why you may not be losing fat. And if you're liking this content, please follow along and we'll talk about another mistake, which is your body could be going through body recomposition.